On a crisp October morning in 2025, a shocking incident at a high-end retail store in downtown Chicago turned a routine shopping trip into a viral moment that exposed prejudice and sparked a nationwide conversation. When a white store manager slapped a black woman over a misunderstanding, he had no idea she was Elena Carter, the billionaire owner of the entire retail chain. What followed was a stunning display of power, grace, and accountability that left the manager speechless and the public captivated. Elena Carter, 45, was a name synonymous with success but rarely recognized in public. As the founder and CEO of Carter Luxe, a luxury retail chain with over 200 stores nationwide, she had built a fortune through savvy business acumen and a commitment to inclusivity. Born and raised in Chicago's South Side, Elena had overcome systemic barriers to become one of the wealthiest black women in America. Her company was known for its upscale fashion and jewelry, catering to an affluent clientele, but Elena herself preferred to stay out of the spotlight, often visiting her stores Incognito to check on operations. On October 12, 2025, Elena walked into the Carter Luxe flagship store on Michigan Avenue. She was dressed casually in a tailored blazer, jeans, and sunglasses, her identity obscured to the staff. Her visit wasn't planned. She had decided to stop by after a meeting with her board of directors to see how the store was performing ahead of the holiday season. Elena was meticulous about quality control, often blending in as a customer to observe employee behavior and customer service firsthand. The store was busy that morning, with shoppers browsing racks of designer clothing and glass cases filled with sparkling jewelry. Elena moved through the aisles, noting the displays and the staff's interactions with customers. She paused at a jewelry counter, where a young black couple was examining a diamond necklace. The sales associate, a white man in his early 30s named Brian Mitchell, was assisting them but seemed dismissive, his tone curt as he answered their questions. Elena watched quietly, her years of experience in retail telling her something was off. The couple, clearly interested in the necklace, asked about customization options, but Mitchell responded with impatience, suggesting they might prefer something more affordable from another section. The couple exchanged a glance, visibly uncomfortable, and thanked him before walking away. Elena approached the counter, intending to ask about the same necklace to gauge Mitchell's behavior. She removed her sunglasses and smiled politely. "Excuse me," she said, "can you tell me more about that diamond necklace in the case?" Mitchell barely looked at her, his attention on his phone. "It's $12,000, he said flatly. "Anything else you need?" Elena raised an eyebrow, but kept her tone calm. "I'd like to know about the craftsmanship and whether it can be customized. The couple before me seemed interested, but you didn't give them much information." Mitchell's expression soured. He set his phone down and leaned forward, his voice low but sharp. "Look, lady, if you're just here to waste my time, you can move along. That piece isn't for everyone." Elena's jaw tightened, but she remained composed. She was used to being underestimated, her wealth and status often invisible to those who saw only her race. "I'm not wasting your time," she said evenly. "I'm a customer and I'm asking about a product. Can you answer my question, or should I speak to someone else?" Mitchell scoffed, his frustration boiling over. "You people always want something for nothing," he muttered, loud enough for Elena and nearby customers to hear. Before Elena could respond, he reached across the counter and slapped her hand, which was resting on the glass case, as if to shoo her away. "Just go, okay? I've got real customers to deal with." The slap wasn't hard, but it was deliberate, a gesture meant to dismiss and demean. Gasps rippled through the nearby shoppers. A black woman browsing nearby froze, her eyes wide with shock. A white couple at the next counter stepped back, whispering to each other. Elena stood still, her hands stinging, her mind racing. She could feel the weight of every eye in the store on her, but she didn't flinch. "Excuse me," Elena said, her voice steady but laced with authority. "Do you know who I am?" Mitchell rolled his eyes, oblivious to the gravity of the moment. "I don't care who you are," he snapped. "If you're not buying, get out of my store." The word "my" hung in the air, a mistake so profound it would soon unravel his world. Elena took a deep breath, her years of navigating corporate boardrooms and hostile environments guiding her response. She reached into her purse, pulled out her phone and dialed a number. "This is Elena Carter," she said into the phone, her voice calm but firm. "I'm at the Michigan Avenue store. I need security and HR here immediately." Mitchell's smirk faded as he processed her words. The name, Elena Carter, didn't register at first, but the murmurs from the crowd grew louder. A young sales associate nearby, who had been watching the exchange, gasped audibly. "Wait," she whispered to a colleague. "Did she say Elena Carter? As in the Elena Carter?" Within minutes, 2 security guards arrived, followed by the store's regional manager, Karen Phillips, who had been in the back office. Phillips, a seasoned employee who had worked for Carter Lux for a decade, recognized Elena immediately. Her face paled as she approached. "Ms. Carter," she said, her voice trembling. "I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were here today. What's going on?" Elena's eyes never left Mitchell. "This employee," she said, nodding toward him, "just slapped my hand and told me to leave his store. He also made derogatory comments and dismissed a black couple who were interested in a purchase. I want to know how this behavior is tolerated in my company." The word "my" landed like a thunderclap. Mitchell's face went white, his mouth opening, but no words coming out. The crowd was buzzing now, phones out, recording the scene. Phillips turned to Mitchell, her expression a mix of shock and fury. "Brian, is this true?" she asked. Mitchell stammered, his earlier arrogance gone. I didn't know who she was," he said. "I thought she was just... I didn't mean to..." "You didn't mean to what?" Elena cut in, her voice sharp but controlled. "Slap me? Insult me? Assume I wasn't a real customer because of how I look? Or was it the same assumption you made about the couple who left empty-handed?" The store was silent except for the hum of air conditioning and the faint clicking of phone cameras. Mitchell stood frozen, his career unraveling before his eyes. Phillips stepped in, trying to regain control. "Ms. Carter, I assure you this is not how we operate. Brian, you're suspended, effective immediately. Please leave the premises." Security escorted Mitchell to the back, his head bowed, as whispers filled the store. Elena turned to Phillips. "This isn't just about one employee," she said. "This is about a culture that allows this to happen. I want a full review of the store's training and hiring practices. And I want to speak to that couple who were here earlier. They deserve an apology and more." Phillips nodded, scribbling notes. "Yes, ma'am. I'll get their contact information from the security footage and reach out personally." Elena wasn't finished. She addressed the crowd, her voice carrying the weight of her authority. "I built this company to be a place where everyone feels valued," she said. "What happened here today is unacceptable. If anyone else has experienced treatment like this in any Carter Lux store, I want to know about it. My team will make this right." The shoppers applauded, some approaching Elena to thank her. The black woman who had witnessed the incident introduced herself as Tanya, a regular customer. "I've seen things like this before," Tanya said, her voice shaking. "But I've never seen someone handle it like you did. Thank you." Elena nodded, her expression softening. "No one should feel dismissed or disrespected," she said. "Not here, not anywhere." By that afternoon, videos of the incident were circulating on social media, shared thousands of times with hashtags like #ElenaCarter and #JusticeAtCarterLux. News outlets picked up the story, praising Elena's composure and calling for accountability in retail. The couple who had been dismissed returned to the store the next day, personally invited by Elena, who gifted them a necklace they'd admired and offered to cover the cost of any customization they wanted. Mitchell was fired after an internal investigation confirmed his actions violated company policy. Carter Lux issued a public statement, authored by Elena herself, acknowledging the incident and outlining new mandatory training on diversity, inclusion, and customer respect for all employees. Elena also announced a nationwide initiative to ensure every store fostered an environment of equality, with anonymous reporting systems for customers and staff to flag discriminatory behavior. The incident became a turning point for Carter Lux. Sales surged as customers, inspired by Elena's leadership, flocked to the stores. Community leaders reached out, inviting her to speak at events about workplace equity and systemic bias. Elena, though reluctant to embrace the spotlight, used her platform to advocate for change, emphasizing that wealth and status didn't shield her from prejudice, but they gave her a voice to fight it. For the employees at Carter Lux, the story of Elena's encounter became a cautionary tale and a call to action. Training sessions were revamped, with Elena personally overseeing the development of new protocols. She also established a scholarship fund for Black youth in Chicago, named after her mother, who had taught her the value of resilience in the face of adversity. The slap in the store wasn't just a moment of conflict. It was a catalyst. It exposed the subtle and overt biases that persist even in places meant to be welcoming. Elena Carter, a billionaire who could have walked away, chose instead to stand her ground, not just for herself, but for every person who had ever been underestimated or disrespected. Her response, calm, commanding, and unwavering, reshaped the company, inspired a movement, and reminded the world that power isn't just in wealth, but in the courage to demand better,